Game day, bitches. Game day. God, I don't care what it means, man, when it comes to exhibition football. No matter what it means. Get a chance to see your boys out there. You get a chance to see your coaches in action. You get an opportunity to see how all the talk has been. 14 sacks in the formaldehyde jar on Tuesday. Will it translate tonight? So if the Eagles look at tonight's game as a non-factor, and they're going to take what they did on Tuesday and not take the more quality reps. The quality reps, they are quality reps, though. Not taking it away on what they did in the joint practices. But exhibition football is more of a game situation and how the games are going to look on Sunday or on September 6th. But as always, the signature open here on the Big Sills Show, National Football Show. Big Sills! Got some big topics. Xander will join us at 3:30. We will also talk to our friend Jason Cole from Yahoo Sports, Pro Football Insider and NFL voter for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Appreciate you guys so much. By the way, looking to get to over 250 likes. You guys have been crushing it. Absolutely crushing it. Please hit the like button. We appreciate it. All right, like I said, game day. They had the practice on Tuesday. You take a lot out of that. You do. Not saying you don't. Not saying you don't. But I get more out of tonight because it's actual game situation, game tempo. That joint practice is not game tempo at all, in any way whatsoever, except the drills are live. Do you understand that that thing does not duplicate a game? When you're talking joint practice versus an exhibition football game, they're completely different just in how you approach it. There's no coaching in games. There's coaching in practice. So it's a completely different mindset. Hey, look, the Patriots are not good. I'm not suggesting to you that that thing would have looked better for New England on Tuesday. And if it's landing like that, I don't want you to think that. New England's an awful team. They just basically threw up the white flag today by sending Matthew Judon to the Atlanta Falcons for a third-round pick, which I think is pretty high for a 31-year-old guy. Hey, he's been great the last 2 years. Make no mistake about it. And that helps Atlanta a ton. Boy, I'll tell you, man, Atlanta, if that quarterback can give them some yardage this year and he can be efficient for 17 weeks, Atlanta's going to be a player. I'm going to be interested in what kind of team that football team's going to roll out on Sundays, especially in a shitty division like the NFC South. That's a pretty damn good pickup. Remember what I've been telling you? Their O-line's good. Bijan, Pitts, Cousins. I said getting home would be an issue for Atlanta. Well, they kind of addressed that. They addressed it. So, gave up a third rounder for him. This late, August 15th, they're desperate. They're desperate. Hey, that's right, JM. And if they sign Justin Simmons, boy, I tell you, Atlanta could be somebody. The Atlanta Falcons just might be somebody this year. What to look for tonight? What are you guys looking for tonight in this exhibition game? By the way, do I think the offensive guys will play? Probably not. But you could take away Kellen Moore's actions, and you can watch what they're going to try to do fundamentally, especially on defense. I think the defensive guys are going to play. And by the way, I heard John and Xander talking. How in the fuck do you not put Nakobe Dean out there tonight for 3 quarters when he's only played 218 snaps in his entire NFL career? And you're telling me the Ravens exhibition game and a practice game, you're comfortable playing him against the Packers in a regular season ball game with 218 career snaps? Where's the common sense to that? That guy needs so many reps, it's ill. I heard John say something else. N'Kobe's the best linebacker on the Eagles. That's frightening. That is frightening. If that guy's your best backer. It's frightening. If that's he's terrible. He's terrible. Okay? And 218 snaps. A practice and an exhibition game he was fair in. N'Kobe Dean's only played 218 NFL snaps. And you're going to roll him. Are you not going to play him against Minnesota? And you're just going to roll him out against Jordan Love. That is absolutely ridiculous. Who would even think that's remotely? I guarantee you Vic Fangio doesn't think that's good. That guy has to get reps. Dude, let's see who he is. Stop hiding him. So what to look for defensively tonight? I want to look at the linebackers, not just him. I want to look at the core, and I want to see the rotation that Vic Fangio rolls out there tonight. I want to see how they put combinations together. Dude, he's not setting any. I guarantee you this. Here's the guys that have won jobs. By default, Bryce Huff's won a job. By default, Nolan Smith. No. Nolan Smith hasn't won that. Josh Sweat has. Josh Sweat has won a job. Jalen Carter's won a job. Darius Slay's won a job. Jordan Davis has won a job, and probably Milton. No one else has won a job. Both your safeties, probably Reed has won a job. Left cornerback 2 hasn't won a job. Your safety position is injury prone. I mean, I don't think really anybody has won a job in that secondary. I want to see the edge rushers tonight. What are you going to do with them? You're going to put them out in space in a 7-9 technique? How are you going to rush the passer? Let's see what different types of formations. By the way, we're going to give you more. Now, when we talk in a couple of minutes about Vic Fangio, I had a great conversation. Again, I followed up with Butch Davis and Dave Wanstead, and I got more of a detailed on what to expect this year from Vic Fangio's type defense and his scheme. So it might be a little bit technical for you. So forgive me on that if it gets a little bit really over the top a little bit here. Stills, listening to Johnny Mack, you'd think that Dean is going to pop out of his cocoon as a beautiful butterfly. I hope he's right, because Dean looks like a slug. He's totally terrible. He's not a good football player. I have seen no redeeming qualities about him playing good. I've seen a couple plays where he's made okay. They look good. Other than that, he's not made any impact. When I look at him, Trotter's made more of an impact. Actually, get this. You want to hear something crazy? Hey, how many months has it been since Trotter's been drafted? April, May, June, July, August. In 5 months, Jeremiah Trotter's done more as a Philadelphia Eagle than N'Kobe Dean has done in 2 years. I mean, and get this, he's growing as a player. Jeremiah Trotter in 5 months has shown me more of the ability to play that position than that guy in 2 years has. And these people that cover the fucking Eagles are swearing to you that this guy's the best backer on that team. Where? That guy couldn't make a ball team in the league. Only in Philly, because they drafted him 3rd round. If you put him on the open market right now, you'd get a 6th or 7th for him. His value's not 3rd round. You think that guy's a 3rd round player? Fred Warner's a 3rd round player. Edge rushers. I want to see him tonight. Patriots aren't a good team. It's not a good roster. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Okay? Zaguero's pretty balanced, and he hasn't said Dean is the best linebacker. Look, man, I'm not going to make a show on this. I want to see the secondary. How are you going to mix and match? Who are you going to put out there? Who's going to play safety? Who's going to? How many times are you going to? You know, it's really weird. They're putting Quinton Mitchell in the slot. Okay, why are you putting him in the slot? You want to get him on the field? Okay, you drafted him to be a corner, though. What's the problem out there? You mean to tell me he can't beat a guy out that's been out of ball, who bet on turtles, racing? He can't beat Isaiah Rodgers out? Really? This guy's the first pick in the draft. He's your 22nd pick. He can't beat him out? Why? Inexperience? Vic's not comfortable? Probably all that. Okay? Probably all that. Picking up a system? Probably true. He did play zone at Toledo, whatever that means. But he played zone, so he understands the concept. I mean, KC says, what edge rushers? We have none. Sweat will give you 6 in 17. That's his ceiling. KC, I think 6 to 8 sacks for Josh Sweat is probably around right. That's probably sounds right. Sills, he's able to be versatile and able to play multiple positions. Maybe Vic Fangio is not comfortable with what he's seen with the other players in different positions. Yeah, but I'm going to play him at his best position. What's his best position? Slot safety? Or you're going to put him up? They're two completely different positions and skill sets. You're not talking about a guy floating over and playing something completely that's kind of compatible with one another. Slot safety, nickel, and corner, completely different things. Completely different responsibilities. Completely different techniques. I mean, look, once again, this isn't a rip. But does Vic see? My question will be, is Vic going to play these young guys? Is he going to play these young dudes? Okay? Maybe Rodgers just playing that damn well. Matt, yeah, I believe that. I like it. Hey, Matt, you're not wrong here with this. That's not a horrible take, Matt. Plus, I love his attitude. I love everything about Isaiah. I'm asking questions here, Matt. I'm not indicting anybody except Dean. I will indict Dean until further notice, and I see something great, and I see consistency with games after game and plays after play. I'm not going there. I get this. 1 out of every 7 plays, he makes a good play. I'm not going to sit there and tell you he's a good player. Okay? That's not what I'm going to do. I want to see Vic's combinations tonight. Kellen Moore with the ball. I want to see Will Shipley tonight. How are they going to use him or throw him around in the room? I want to see more of him. I want to see, obviously, pretty much the normal cast of characters here. The right guard position, I want to see how that rolls out. I got to tell you, that right guard position, Xander and I had a great conversation yesterday. Boy, are they in a pickle with this Micaiah Becton thing. If that guy plays well, he leaves. Then you're back to Steen and Trevor Keegan. I'll tell you what, man. I want to get Keegan some snaps tonight. You know why? Because I may only have 1 year of Micaiah Becton. So I need to get Keegan ready for next year, which means I need to get him some snaps. And I don't want to get him snaps during the regular season, so I'm playing him tonight against New England a ton, and I'm playing him against Minnesota next week a ton. I need to get him ready. That guy is going to be the heir apparent guard at right guard for the Philadelphia Eagles in the future, because you're not going to be able to keep Becton. Becton plays 17 games. he'll make a Pro Bowl and $20 million in the open market and get a chance to move back to his natural position of left tackle. We're giving a team the ability to have to move him over to guard if they need so. He's going to make a killing. If that guy plays well, he's gone. Unless there's some epiphany where they come up with some psychotic deal and way to keep him. He's gone if he plays. You know, they're kind of like downplaying how good he's done. He's been pretty good for a guy that's never played right guard, and that guy in space at 6'8". You know the first thing you do when you're – do you know what Aaron Donald would do to him? Because he's so big and trying to get down, he would get as low as he possibly can and power rush him. Some would say with Sills, he's like 350 pounds. Yeah, but remember something. Him getting out of a stance in space like that, it's a lot tougher than when you get to slide your feet right tackle or left tackle. You don't have the room to operate down in there. You have to be quicker, actually, at the guard position. That's what those guys are usually like. Landon Dickerson is quicker than Lane Johnson. He's not better. He's quicker. Why? Those guys in the middle are quicker. You got to be quick in the middle. Okay, I mean, you can't pay all five. You can't pay all five offensive line. That's why you get Keegan on a rookie deal still. That's the point. It's a pretty tough little nugget that they're going to have to deal with at the end of the season. I want to see tight end too. You know why I need to see tight end too? Hey, Grant Calcaterra, you're going to play this year because Dallas Goedert's going to get hurt. And I need you to be ready. Or I need something to be ready at tight end too. I'm sick and tired of getting down in stretch runs in the last 2 years, and I don't have my top guy to go across the middle of the field and threaten linebackers. I don't care how good Dallas Goedert is. You need to get Grant Calcaterra. It's too bad that you got two Balsa Wood players playing that position. They're injury prone, both of them. And you need to keep an eye on that. Okay? You need to keep an eye on that because you know why? I think Kellen Moore wants to go to two tight end set. You imagine putting Calcaterra and also Dallas Goedert and two tight ends. And then you've got flanked out, you've got Devontae, and you've got AJ, and you've got Barkley behind you, and you're going to run a power game at people? You kill teams. I think he wants to run two tight end set. Well, you got to have healthy guys to run two tight end set. Keegan's going to be the guy over at right guard next year. That's my money. Okay? That's my money. I want to see wide receiver 3. It's absolutely a pathetic position. It's a low volume position. However, you've got to get some competency there. You just have to have a competent guy in there. Make a coordinator have to defend a position. Do you realize the last 2 years? Hey, by the way, Quez Watkins is better than anything you have on the team right now. That sucks to say that. You haven't upgraded from Quez. You have not upgraded. And he's terrible. You have not upgraded. Britton Covey's not an upgrade to Quez Watkins. He's not an upgrade. You have not shown one ability to have an upgrade from Queasy Watkins. Okay? I want to get some competency in that pick. Abe goes, Queasy couldn't catch worth a damn. You don't have anything in there now that I can trust. You have no experience. Paris Campbell stunk in New York. Stop acting like this guy was Odell Beckham Jr. in New York. He was terrible. Who's Ross? Jeff Ross, the comedian? Give me a break. You're talking to me about nobodies. I need competent players at that position. Show me there's some competency. Show me it's a position that a coordinator will go, we still have to defend it. Coordinators haven't had to defend that position in 2 years. Yeah, does Jeff Ross play your number 3 receiver position? Ross, give me a break. Oh, he's fast, Sills. Yeah. So is Noah Lyles. Why don't you give him a uniform? That kickoff bullshit thing, I want to see it tonight a little bit. Michael Clay has done a really nice job with the special teams the last 2 years. Okay? He's done a really nice job with the special teams. But that kickoff thing, man, I'm still confused with it. I mean, how many people in here get it? I don't still get it. I mean, I kind of do. But I don't know, man. I really just don't see it. What the league is trying to accomplish. I still see high volume hits in this thing. I don't know. I don't know. Keegan will play, but only because they don't want to risk injuring Becton. Some results, but I agree with you, Sills. Thank you, JB. Appreciate it. Sills, I'm not as concerned at wide receiver 3 because I believe 12 personnel is a better system for the team. You're talking about maybe sliding Barkley into that role where he could be actually the third guy and the third option in that tree. Probably so. Okay. Sills, the kickoff rule is just as confusing as a hobby horse. Hey, dude, it's confusing. I think you're going to have a lot of big plays off that thing because people are confused and teams are confused. I don't really see the logic to it right now. Why did you just leave well enough alone, man? I mean, kickoffs are what? Hey, you want to really make an impact? Move it back to the 20. You want to get kickoffs back in the game? Move it back to the 20-yard line. Oh, but then there's hits. Oh, that's right. I forgot. You got to worry about concussions. Come on, man. Hey, by the way, I want to start this off by doing this. What did I see here? The respect level for your quarterback outside of Philadelphia is nowhere. So Emmanuel Acho goes, when I look at Jalen Hurts, I don't see an all-pro quarterback. I just don't see it. Those are his words. Because I don't see it. And Atlantic City and Vegas has the number this year for Jalen's passing yards at 35-25, over-under, and touchdown passes at 21.5. That's like Mid-America Conference quarterbacking. Hey, how's that for you? How's that for you, man? See, you're the Vegas and Atlantic City has Jalen Hurts at 35-25 and 21 touchdowns. It's not me saying it. I'm not setting a line. Over under, baby. Hit 3,500 yards. What quarterback in the NFL today is considered a big-time QB in this league? Throws for 3,500 yards. Shit. The guy in Atlanta might have 3,500 yards by week 10. Oh, man. It's going to be an interesting year, man, for sure. Angel says take the over. Okay? Seals, the media outside of Philly does not respect Hurts, but the players around the NFL do. I agree. Who would you believe? I believe the players. Players do like him. Players do respect him, and you're right. Okay? Hey, Bob, I'll give you a great one that you're so right on. Elon Musk does an interview with Donald Trump, and every media person hated it because their job's on the line. It wasn't whether or not the interview was good or not. It wasn't the point. You got to hear the president and Elon talk. That was the only point of that interview. Nobody ever said at the end of the day that Elon Musk is some professional interviewer or that Trump is some sort of great orator. It's what it is. And so when you talk about Jalen Hurts, it's the media because when they see the prototype, he doesn't fit it. I get it. I totally get it. Look at Prince. Acho played the NFL. Hey, man, he talks a lot of shit on Jalen. He talks more shit on Jalen than I do. I actually think Jalen's a good ball player. I don't know, man. I don't think Acho thinks he is. Seals, the Dolphins are going to be $44 million over the cap next year. Do you make one of the moves on their edge rushers? I think the kid Phillips is hurt. So you're talking Chubb. Okay? You're talking Chubb. He's got a lot of money on that contract, man. Okay? He's got $21 million. Hoss, supposedly, that interview hit over $1 billion. Okay? Acho couldn't make a tackle in the NFL. Hey, wait a minute, Jonathan. He's got an opinion. It's an opinion. It's nothing to do with his playing career. His opinion has nothing to do with his playing career. Okay? Sills, how about ESPN getting fired by ESPN? Who's next? Yeah, Sue, over $1 billion. So, hey, I thought those numbers were interesting. Nobody really expecting a lot of things out of Jalen Hurts this year. At least the money guys aren't. Once again, those numbers don't translate to winning. So, kind of irrelevant in a way. But those are the prop bets. Sills, let's compare the media take with Hurts in your show. People will not tune in long if they just hear nice crap. Conflict creates viewers. Yeah, but Bob, here's the one thing that I do. I'm not trying to piss people off. I guess I just do it naturally. Because again, Bob, and I like your take here, but Bob, I found out one thing that pisses people off. The truth. Honest to God, it's not a hot take. A hot take doesn't piss people off. The truth does. Or your form of truth. I mean, please hit the like button, guys. The truth, I learned a lesson in my broadcasting career. You tell the truth, people get pissed off at it. Half the room's going to like you, half the room's not going to like your take. No matter what it is, no matter what the take is. Just take a look at some of the things I say. Half the room likes it, half the room hates it. Nobody's in the middle. I don't want you in the middle. Seals, you don't need to try. They need to try. Yeah, Fly, I agree. I used to try about 25 years ago. Anymore. Damn, Sills, he had the same stats as you. Only played 6. The only difference was that I got $500,000, and I was the 56th player drafted. And I got 3 years NFL credited to me. 4 years, actually, because of the World League. Okay, so the average NFL player, Prince, is in the league 3 years. I don't mind being average. And by the way, I got more snaps than the Kobe Dean right now. How you doing? How you doing? That's sad. When Sileo has more snaps than the Kobe Dean, that sucks. Thanks, Prince. Guys, please hit the like button. All right, here. Hey, man. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for tonight. I want to get into Vic Fangio here. Guys, this is going to be, I hope, not too technical. Okay, I hope this is not going to be too technical for some of you. What are you guys expecting to see from Vic Fangio's defense this year? What are you expecting to see? What are you expecting to see out of his defensive schemes? Okay. The scheme tonight, what, or the year, for the year coming up. I heard Xander and John say that this defense can be top 15. That's a big ask. You don't have top 15 linebackers or top 15 secondary players. You fucking high? You don't have top 15 edge rushers. There's not one football player on that side of the ball outside of Jalen Carter that you would put in the top 15 players at any ranking, at any position, except Carter. Maybe Slay. There's not one guy in the top 15 over there. If you were to rank safeties, slot safeties, corners, linebackers, edge rushers, defensive tackles, you probably do. You have nobody over there. Nothing. There's there's potential, but potential doesn't win games. Consistency wins games. Knowing your job wins games. Jordan Davis is not a top. He is. Did you watch him last year, Prince, at the last 10 games of the year? Did you watch him and hear Brian Baldinger say that guy's just laying on people? Did you hear him say that? Gardner Johnson, how can Gardner Johnson be a top 15 safety when he missed and he's only played 15 games out of 34 games in 2 years? How in the world can you say that and put that out there? That Gardner Johnson's a top 15 slot safety when he's played half the games in 2 years. Come on. Come on, man. Okay. You guys keep saying that Jordan Davis is top 15 DT. Well, let's see it finally, because he hasn't played as a top 15 tackle yet. 13th pick in the draft? Sorry, guy. That ain't happening. All right. What in the world are you looking for this year? Let me be a little bit more technical on what you're going to expect from a Vic Fangio defense. Okay? His two high safeties. You're not going to like it. There is a lot of room. Let me try to explain this. Two high safeties. That's what your defense is going to have in the middle of the field. All this open space with two high safeties. All this. And they got to defend it. You have the personnel, you think, of linebackers and safety to cover that? You better get pressure on the quarterback. That's what two high safety looks like. They're going to play them as deep as they can. You're going to be shocked how deep they are. You're going to be shocked how deep. The room between the backers and safeties is going to be about 15 yards. That's why your linebackers. Do you know why? Why do you guys think that Vic Fangio actually likes it? It's a fundamental thought process that's correct. Why do you think that he likes Devin White and Nakobe Dean? And it makes sense that he has put those two at starter. Why do you think? Because here, when you play too deep, it's a pseudo Tampa 2. But when you play Tampa 2, you got to have a linebacker like Derek Brooks who can play the run and cover in space. And he's hoping that Devin and Nakobe, with their athleticism, can make that distance up between the safety, strong and free, and that middle of the field. The problem is they both can't cover. I mean, the guys who are really great at that were Ryan Shazier, Derek Brooks. Roquan Smith is exceptional at it. Fred Warner is tremendous at even Dre Greenlaw are tremendous at that. They're like Tampa 2 defense. You know, look, when John Lynch was building that defense and building that team, he's building it in the eyes of Monty Kiffin and Tony Dungy. Yeah, Kuechly was a guy that could play that too. Okay. Kuechly could play that position just like that too. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, he played in the Tampa 2. He played in that Tampa 2. Zach Thomas was more in a traditional 43, though, than he was in that Tampa 2. But that's the type of line. You guys remember how great of a linebacker, Hall of Famer Derek Brooks was? Derek Brooks was a Hall of Fame linebacker. And Derek Brooks could play the run and the pass and could cover backs and tight ends. It was impossible to have anything in middle zone. But look who their corners were. I mean, you had Rondé Barber back there and John Lynch knocking the shit out of people. I mean, you had Brooks in the middle. You had Barber and Lynch in the secondary. And you got pressure with Simeon Rice and Warren Sapp. Every level had a player that created pressure, cover, deep cover. You don't have that with this. This is a personnel issue. It's not a scheme issue. The scheme is fundamentally sound. That's why he's playing so many different people when it comes to his combinations. Now, remember something. If you look at his history, going back to San Francisco, even with the Stars, or even a year ago, the stuff was derailed a year ago because of injuries and people not wanting to play it because Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey they're not used to playing two high safeties. They're press corners. They're man corners. They don't want to play 10 yards off the ball. So you got to remember something. This is what you're going to see in your defense here. You're going to see two safeties so deep off the ball, and you're going to see your corners 10 yards off the ball. There's going to be a lot of room to roam in the middle of that field versus quality quarterbacks. Okay? So there's going to be a lot of room in there, and that's why those linebackers are going to be essential. Getting a jam and pressure is going to be more important than ever before. You know, like I told Prince yesterday, one of the things that made that 22 defense so good, you never gave routes an opportunity to mature because you got volume pressure and you got volume sacks. I actually think Darius Slay is going to be maybe having a rebound year, depending on how much he has left. My question with Slay will be, how does he look after week 12, 13, play high volume reps? How good will he look? Okay, how good will he look? Now, here's the deal here. When you play too high safety, this is a caveat to, again, giving up a lot of space there. What do you think giving up a lot of space does? And let's give the advantage to the defense here. I hope I'm not being too technical. Okay? What do you think playing too high safety? What do you think that does? Okay? To the quarterback. And what advantages do you have with too high safety? What's the number one advantage that you have with too high safety defense that Vic's going to run? What is the one thing that you create with that? No deep passes? Yes, that's true. Makes a quarterback more comfortable throwing underneath. Actually, where is this? Who said that? Makes the quarterback more comfortable underneath. Here it is. The underneath will be open. Man, two. That's a good one. I'm going to tell you guys. When you play deep and you play two deep safety and you have that space, what's the number one thing that thing gives you? You make the quarterback have to have post-snap progression reading. You make it harder on them, actually, because you can move to a multiple cover. Now, I hope this is not getting too much in the weeds here. When you play that too high safety, you get an opportunity to switch your coverage and make the quarterback have to have a post read on what, if he saw the free safety or strong safety pre-snap and you're playing too high safety, he sees that read and that landmark. Well, Vic is trying to create this snap, move. After the snap, you force the quarterback to make a second progression read, and it actually makes, yes, it's open, but it's going to make it more difficult for the quarterback because you can design and you can mask a different coverage that you're trying to get to because you have so much space to operate. It gives you more flexibility to make that quarterback have to have a post read after the snap of the ball. Okay? Absolutely, Bob. What Bob is saying right here, this is exactly correct. Seals, the space allows the safeties to get a read on the quarterback tendencies to jump the ball. That's exactly what they're doing here. I went back and watched that Ravens game, and you can see it plain and simple. Vic's going to play a two-deep safety, and what he's trying to do is confuse the quarterbacks. He's trying to confuse the quarterbacks after the snap, and he's disguising his coverages, making it more difficult. He knows he doesn't have the personnel back there in the secondary to sit there and just play man up. So post-snap, he's going to go to a different look. It's actually very confusing for a quarterback, especially if you're not a seasoned guy. Shift coverage. That's a way to that's a good way to think about it. So you're actually putting the advantage back on your side with that. I hope this is making sense because everyone's under the assumption, well, the underneath passes. Okay, you know what Vic wants you to do? Control and contain. That's what he's looking for you to do anyway. Vic doesn't believe your quarterback's going to make a 14-play dink and dunk play down the field, and he's going to play red zone defense with you. The number one stat that Vic Fangio wants to win this year, you know what it is? Points allowed. Points allowed. Don't give up the big plus 25. Okay? But remember something. Think about this here. Did a lot of work last night watching this. Here's something to think about too. You have to have a ton of experience back there. It's why the young guys aren't really getting a shitload of reps and why they're playing Quinyon Mitchell in the slot and not the corner. You've got to have mass communication back there because you can run into one another. And if you got a coordinator like Andy, they'll run you into each other. It's a very difficult scenario that it's a pretty complex defense. Still, the issue Vic will have is that if you surrender to space, you must tackle immediately. Poor tackling kills the soft serve system. Yeah, but here, Bob, I think that's going to be a problem league-wise. I mean, when you take the hip drop tackle out, undefended receivers and all that shit, I think you just want to keep everything underneath and try to do your best to get the guy in the ground and not give up massive field position. The NFL is different today. I mean, those 85 Bear defenses and gangrene, they're gone, dude. That's right. Right here, Tony. Tony's right. Right here. You're keeping everything in front of you. Don't ever get anything to the side of you. Don't ever get anything, obviously, behind you. Okay? Flagger says this. It's a variety of Jimmy Johnson's philosophy. Let them have some room to the 20s. Stop them, force a field goal. Absolutely. Hey, Slagger, you want to kick 6 field goals? I'll beat your ass every day. Okay? Okay? I'll give you 10 field goals. I'll beat your ass every day. You're not beating the Eagle offense with field goals. Dude, if you give up 20 points this year a game, 21 points a game this year, you're going to win a ton of games. Okay? The league is so different today. And when you watch what he's trying to do, again, I wrote this stat down here. It creates post-snap advantages for the defense, and an average quarterback, he's going to struggle with that. Like, you play now, guys like Cousins. Hey, I'll tell you what, I want to see Love. I guarantee you right now, Matt LaFleur is already breaking down that, going, hey, this guy's going to have post-snap disguise coverages on you. You better be ready for that, because you have to adjust post-snap. Your pre-snap reads go. What Vic Fangio's trying to do with his secondary, he's trying to take your pre-snap read away. It's ingenious. And actually, when you look at what he's doing, that's why Bradbury's on the team. That's why you have veteran guys that he's suspect on playing those rookie guys. Why? Dude, he's not going to put Cooper DeJean in this until that guy's 100% ready. And if he plays, it'll be a nickel or it'll be in the slot. He's trying to get Quinyon Mitchell on the field to see how that system looks and works. Don't you notice? Quinyon's in the middle of the field. He gets to see what Vic's calling. Oh, I see. You're taking pre-snap. You're taking the post-snap away. Really a difficult defense to run in the secondary. It's really complex. It's complex, but it's kind of simple what he's doing. I'm going to give you everything. Hey, he's giving you this. Why is he giving you this? He's baiting you. He's baiting you. He thinks he's going to make turnovers here. Vic's not thinking like a defensive guy who doesn't have personnel. He's thinking about guys, maybe I don't have the right guys. Well, you know what we can do? We'll set a mousetrap. This is going to be a mousetrap. This area here is the mousetrap for the Eagle defense this year. Do you have the linebackers? No. Do you really have the safeties? Probably not yet. Do you have the corners? I don't know. One's old. The other guy's brand new. Not sure. So let's give them the underneath. Let's force them to go here. You know how you do a card trick? And you have a card trick and you know what the card is when you shuffle the deck. All these magicians know the card. So they know the card. And they're trying to lead you to this. And the key will be not buying into it. Because if Vic gets you in the mousetrap, he's got you. Because he's going to change these coverages post-snap. I hope this isn't too technical. Because that's what his philosophy is. I had it explained to me even more so last night. They said, you're looking at it wrong. He's baiting you to go to the middle of the field. Why would he want you to go to the middle of the field? Think of it. That's where all the pursuit is. He doesn't want you to beat. He doesn't want to be beat on the numbers. In the middle of the field, he can make a play. He wants all the plays. Like tonight. Watch how many plays the Patriots. Because why? Drake May and Jacoby Brissett. Now, Brissett can read. But watch how many plays tonight are in the middle of the field. I guarantee you 75% of the plays will be checkdowns and over the middle. That's where he wants you to play the ball game. He wants you to play in space in the middle of the field. He's going to play two deep. He's going to play corner deep. That is exactly what he's trying to accomplish this spring, fall, and preparing you for September. Now let's go to the front seven here. When you play two high safety and you have this multiple type mentality of disguising your coverages. Your front seven has the ability to play 34, 43, 52, bear. That's why you're seeing multiple looks up front. And you're hearing even the players on the offensive side saying, we see multiple stuff. Most likely you're going to see starting out in 3Ds, and you're going to see edge rushers, and you're going to have two linebackers in the middle of the field. Two middle linebackers in the middle of the field, plus your safety high. There's that space they're creating. Now, the problem that he has is that Nolan Smith, and the only reliable pass rusher he has is truly Josh Sweat. We don't know yet what Bryce Huff is. Bryce Huff had one good year. John McMullen wants to name him Mark Gaston already. Well, he's not. You don't know that. He may come out in the first 4 games and get 10 sacks. That's not what his career has said. His career has said he had one good season. Shit, how many years has Josh Sweat had multiple sacks? And how many years has he been an Eagle? Can someone tell me? How many years did Brandon Graham have multiple sack years? What was he, an Eagle? 17 years? What do you have, 2? To sit there and say that Bryce Huff is going to turn into some multiple sack guy is fucking absurd. You don't know that. You're projecting again. On August 15th, I don't want to project shit yet. I want to know, who are you? Can I count on this? What am I looking for? Sweat's your only reliable sack guy that's going to give you reps. What does Sweat give you that Bryce Huff doesn't even remotely come close to? Durable reps and pass rushing and production. This guy's produced 60-plus tackles, 7+ sacks a year. I'm not shitting on that. Huff had 10 sacks and a secondary role. That's okay. And you're crowing over a formaldehyde practice. Great. Consistency is where you win me over. You know, this is the one thing that I say about Jalen Hurts all the time. Is it that I don't like Jalen, the player? No. I want consistency. You know, I'd rather have a cross between the 23 season and the 22 year for the next 5 years for Jalen Hurts over anything else. If I can get consistency, low turnovers, high volume of touchdowns like he does, I'm good with that. You're going to be in around the rim. What you don't want is 21, 22, and 23 all being different years because you don't know what you have yet. Okay? Now, the multiple fronts. The best thing for that team, in my opinion, you've got to get pressure. Here's the key to this too high safety thing. If Vic Fangio gets no pressure, he's cooked. He's absolutely cooked. Because guess why? You don't get pressure? I'm not taking the bait and going across the middle of the field. Travis Kelce will annihilate that. Okay? The kid in Baltimore will kill that. Edwards. So you've got to get pressure or they'll attack the numbers still. For me, the Packers, if I were the Packers playing against what Vic wants to do, I'd stay out of the middle of the field. I'd do checkdowns and attack the numbers. He wants you in the middle of the field. Unless I'm throwing a high percentage pass to Josh Jacobs in the middle of the field, I'm not going there. I'm not looking on slants and wheel routes against that defense because he's trying to bait you into it. Matt LaFleur knows this. See, this is the chess game that goes on back and forth between coordinators and play callers like Matt LaFleur. Tonight, you're going to see vanilla shit. But what you're going to see is approach. Kellen spreading the ball around. It's going to be interesting to see his motion tonight. We're gonna talk a little bit about that as well. Like, you know, I left off the list tonight. I want to see motion. Okay. Move the safety. What's your landmark? Look for landmarks tonight. Landmarks are free, strong, and linebackers. Those are your landmarks. Do they slide? Do they not? Do they don't believe them? How many times last year did Matt Patricia get exposed in that Buffalo game? Shit. Josh Allen moved the receiver. Guy came halfway to the middle of the field, went back. You knew he was in zone. It was so stupid. And the guy tried to, give such a complex defense, yet he gave the stupidest keys away and landmarks away. In that game alone, then Purdy did it, and Purdy ate him up because Purdy had multiple motions. I mean, you knew exactly what they were doing. Vic's not going to be that easy. Okay? But you've got to have communication in your secondary for you to be able to do this. Sills, another issue with two deep is that your D-line must stop the run. If they can't, you have 10 yards up the middle. Oh, my God. Stopping the run is going to be imperative in this two-deep defense. Imperative that Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. And that's why they're going to that 5 front, playing 3 interior tackles. Put a guy on the shade on the nose and put 2 guys on the guards. Now, I would still do 3 and 1. What I mean by that is this. I'd put a guy on a shade, maybe strong side, the nose, and I still might play a guy, the left tackle, on a 3 technique and over here on the 1 technique. Depends. I might play them both in 3 techniques. Why is that important? Because when you have 1 technique defensive tackles, you're looking for penetration. I don't mind pass rushing on first down and being wrong. What's the one thing that throws a play off? Penetration. No matter what it is. That's what Aaron Donald made a career out of. How many times do you see him run around a block in his career? Thousands? He didn't care. Because sometimes, get this. Here was Aaron Donald's year. He'd run around 1,000 blocks, make 1,000 TFLs, and he'd have 1,000 sacks. And he's considered one of the greatest defensive tackles of all time. Okay? It's the era of today. It's the era of today. Kyle says, Sills, if Fangio sees no improvement in the edge rushers, does he ask Howie to make a trade? Kyle, it's a great question. Kyle, Vic Fangio is not Jonathan Gannon. He's not going to do and go run to his dad to fix a problem that he was hired to fix. What did Dan Quinn do when they had injuries in Dallas? Dan Quinn didn't go to Jerry Jones and ask him to get me another edge rusher. He put Micah Parsons' hand in the dirt. Then they found out he could rush the passer. When you're a high-quality coordinator, Kellen Moore or you're Vic Fangio, you're there to solve problems, not go run to the personnel department and go, we need someone. You have to fix that yourself. You don't go running. Well, we don't have a safety. That's not Vic Fangio's job. Now, if the organization wants to bring in Justin Simmons and shit and do shit like that, that's one thing. But again, that's another learning. No, not so much of a learning curve because he's played in that system. Okay, so he understands it. So, I mean, Vic Fangio is not going to run Howie. That's an indictment on Vic. Vic's got to fix this. Okay? He's got to fix this. Sills, pass rush, especially from up front in the middle, move the quarterback off his spot, disrupts timing. That kills every quarterback except Mahomes. Bob's saying this, and it's true. This is what pressure does. Look for it tonight. Every quarterback has a spot that he loves to get to. Brady had one as well. Okay? They all had one. Okay? They all had one. When you move those guys around in the pocket, or if you move them left, Mike, you know what I would do if I was Green Bay? I'd move Jalen to his left. Let's see if he's gotten better at it. Let's see if he's gotten better at moving to his left. Okay? Guys, please hit the like button. We really appreciate it. We're going to hit on what I want to see tonight. We're going to continue that trend. Okay? On what I want to see tonight. Guys, I hope that wasn't too technical. But remember something. You know, everyone's like, Sills, everything's going to be open underneath. Vic wants it open. That's too high safety. That's too high safety. Mousetrap. It's a mousetrap in the middle. Okay? He don't want you on the numbers because that's where the plus 25 play comes from. But you got to have massive communication. Okay? That's why he's liking Trotter a lot more. Because Trotter's showing him he knows what he's doing in there. Okay? Guys, do me a favor. If you're looking for a sports book, this coming fall, BetUS is your place. And they've teamed up with us here at JAKIB Sports, and we're so proud to have these guys part of us here now, man. This is going to be such a great opportunity this year for you and BetUS and JAKIB Sports to go along through this magical season here. 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. Absolutely awesome. Plus 200% on crypto deposits. Incredible. This is a place Michael Vick goes. So do me a favor. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa for you to make those wagers. Michael Vick loves the place. This is the home of Michael Vick. Fastest payouts in the business, 24/7 personalized service, 365 days of the year. Absolutely best wagering on all major games. Plus, if you want your own account executive, this is where you go. It is BetUS. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. And do me a favor. Tell them Big Sil sent you.
Michael Vick at betus.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sports book and casino.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.